and welcome to the Scratticus Academy. We are back with some Call of Cthulhu because my face doesn't hurt anymore, so it's good to be back. So before we get started, please check out all the links that are popping up in chat now. That includes a huge thank you to our wonderful sponsors, who we couldn't do this without, in the form of Bird in the Storm and also Mage Hand Press. Before we jump into it, let's hop around, shall we, and say hello to everyone. So we will start off by saying hello to the very lovely Mal. Oh, hi, Mal.
Hi. I'm Mal. You can find me on Twitter at Malhadale. And I was on Sky Chasers on Tales from the Grim, which was super awesome for the mid-season finale. Go check it out. And you can find me here, and hopefully I'll be here more in the future too. Yeah, I think that's it.
Awesome. Thank you. And then we're going to hop down to the lovely Brit, or Atomic Firebird.
Oh, I am Brit, and I play Theodore, and I teased all of them about how I was going to use the Beans accent in this episode, but I won't do it. No, I loved it. That was great. And I mostly can be found on Twitter at Atomic Firebird, as I just said, and Instagram on the same name, where I've been yelling a lot about goat larp. And that's about it.
Perfect, thank you. And then we're going to hop over to the very lovely Nassim.
Hello, I'm Nassim, Nazgul on social media. Saw you newer on the Venture Maidens podcast that streams every other Wednesday on the Venture Maidens Twitch. And I am Beau Franklin Bede, your actor.
Perfect, thank you. And then we're going to hop around and say hello to Paige. Oh, hi.
Hello, I am Paige, known as D&D and Paige. I can't say my own name. And I'm playing Idris Hall, who is still alive, not insane yet. We'll see. As I say every week, it's always a good chance I might die. Fall off a cliff, get hit by a train, who knows.
That's the spirit. And last but certainly not least, Sage Ophelia. You're muted somehow.
Oh, hi. For real this time, without a cat butt on my mute button. I'm Sage Ophelia. You can find me here and on Twitter under the same name. I'm here every Tuesdays and Thursdays. I will be playing Maria Santiago, who is, after a couple weeks of vacation, of being tied up somewhere, ready to shoot some people, unsurprisingly.
Standard. Okay. And last time we left everyone, Theodore and Aidan had gone missing. And the others came to after a very sort of foggy experience back in the tomb again. And they were surrounded by hooded figures, this cult. And one of them had stepped forwards in their hands with a set of scales. And that is where we find Idris, Edward, Maria, and Beau right now as you sit amongst these hooded figures.
I think we're in trouble.
Wait, who's got the feather again? Maria, you got the feather?
Last time I checked, see.
What do you think will happen if you put the feather on there like the thing?
I don't know if they'll let me. I mean, I could try, but if I recall correctly, we were not mobile at the end of last one, or were we?
You are not tied up or anything like that. You were just sat because you went through this haze, your head went foggy. It was more that you passed out, not that you were tied up or anything.
Okay. I can try. I don't know if they speak English though. Excuse me. Or one of the people.
These hooded figures in unison all take one step closer towards you.
Parlez-vous français? Ça va espagnol? Okay, I don't think we're going to get much of anywhere. Maybe I just do it?
I don't know. They might do something weird. Everyone's doing weird things whenever you see them in here.
Were these not the guys that we saw up on the sandy hills outside before we got trapped in this tomb? No.
No, those
Yes.
were us, weren't they?
They seemed like us, but they were still kind of far. Try it.
It's that or bust, right?
We'll see how they react, and then maybe I'll take out the statue.
Yeah. And I'll take out the big feather less seductively than I just did.
Say, wow, where we
That big feather.
Right out of the cleavage.
I imagine it was from my skirt elastic or something. A bandolier full of bullets, and I just pull out a feather. And I want to try to put it on the thing. And there's like a dais, right? Or
There is a set of scales in one of their hands that they have extended out to you.
Nothing in either.
And you can place the feather on one side of the scale. And all of you, your ears sort of seem to like when blood is pumping through your ears, that you can hear your heartbeat in your head, and it's getting louder and louder and almost deafening as you watch the scales tip, the feather getting higher and higher, and this empty dish on the other side. And then you all feel as if there's that, you can feel your own heart, as if it was going to pound out of your chest. And then there's nothing. Nothing at all. Complete darkness. You can't see each other. You all see a white feather drift to the floor. And then we're going to hop over to Theodore. Theodore, you wake up, like you feel like you've been asleep. But everything around you is dark. And you can definitely feel either side of you stone pressing against your shoulders. And almost like a muffled voice. Professor? Professor! And you hear like banging somewhere. Not sorry, I didn't know my cat was there. You just hear like that banging, that muffled just of your voice, of your name being called from somewhere. You feel very heavy.
I'll do that thing where I try to sit up real fast.
You want to sit up? You smack straight into a solid stone, almost like wall or lid.
Ah.
Professor, is that you?
Aiden?
Yeah, no, it's me. Well, where am I? I can't get out, and I'm slightly claustrophobic. And when I say slightly, I mean very.
If I reach out, can I feel him? Are we together, or are we separated?
You can literally, you realize as your arms laying out straight, you can feel almost just that little bit more than the width of your body. There's no one else in here with you. You can hear Aiden not freaking out, but trying to keep himself calm. Just like, I just really don't like small spaces, Professor. I've just, it's just one of my things. It's really dark in here.
She's a very, very reasonable problem to have. I'm not particularly fond either. Why don't you just recite over and over? No, that's a terrible idea. Just what was the last thing that you remember?
And you can hear that sort of break in his voice. He's like, well, there was definitely a train, and then we hid in a toilet.
I remember the train. I
Yeah.
remember that as well. Yes, yes.
And then we were chased, and then I don't know, but I don't like this. I don't remember voluntarily getting into whatever this is.
Nope, that does not seem right. I'm just gonna try to keep him talking, and I'm just gonna push really hard on every surface of this thing.
Okay. Can you roll me a strength, please? Just a straight up strength.
Yes.
Okay.
I got a green. Yes.
On that, you push at the sides, realize it's not going anywhere, and then you get to the top and you feel that it's heavy, but you feel that tiny bit of just leeway. And rather than pushing up, you realize you can sort of slide it to one side. It's still heavy, and you can latch your fingers in one of the side and just move it until you see a small gap where you can see a light. Is that Professor? Is that you moving? I can hear something moving.
It's me. Why don't you stay quiet, actually, for a moment?
Yes, Professor.
And before I move it completely, I just want to see what I can see out of that gap.
Yeah, out of this gap, you can see what it looks like. An oil lamp, a swinging oil lamp. Almost like in, not rafters, that's the wrong thing, but it's swaying like you're on a boat.
And then I'm going to listen for voices. Okay,
can you make a listen check for me, please?
That's a thing that I probably can't do. Nope.
You don't hear anything particular around you. You can hear footsteps, but you don't hear what's being said, and it doesn't sound like hurried footsteps. If anything, you can hear some more things being moved, like crates.
Okay. In that case, yes, why don't you just stay quiet for a few more minutes, and I'm going to try to move the rest of the lid off.
Yeah, on that earlier roll, you can definitely move the rest of the lid off, and almost sort of have to take a second look, as this room is full of oil lamps. This is after being in that darkness for so long, your eyesight sort of goes all speckled, and you realize you are laying in a sarcophagus.
That seems like my life. All right. I'm briefly going to check for my notebook and my glasses.
You have both.
And then I don't want to make any sudden movements in case there's anybody here that has put us in these things, but I want to poke my head out and see if there's anybody in the room that's like guarding us.
You can look around the room, sort of peer out. You can see one man in there just moving a crate. He doesn't seem to be looking at you at all. He doesn't seem to be guarding. He doesn't seem to be watching out for anything. He's actually sort of cursing at this crate, as he seems to be the only one pushing it and moving it about.
Okay, I'm gonna stay still and wait for him to turn his back to me. And if he does, I want to roll out of the thing and then kind of duck behind him.
Okay. Could you roll? Let's have a look. You can either roll a dexterity, or you can roll a dodge, or let's have a look. I'm sure there's another one, if not. A stealth. Either one. I'll give you the options since you're rolling out physically.
Oh no. Oh, that was a bad fail. Okay.
You You sort of half climb out, half stumble out, and as you're trying to maneuver yourself over, there's a big thud because you effectively catch what part of your brace is on it, and it's sort of, you fall out and you just hit the deck, literally. And you hear Adrian go, "Professor," like that, as you hear this bang, and this man turns around and goes, "What are you doing in there? Get out! That's an artifact! Get out!" Like, sort of like, "What are you playing at?" And sort of moves over to you, doesn't help you up, like literally moves you out the way and starts closing the lid again. Like, do you know how old this is? You can't just go take a nap in one of these things.
You're not here to keep me in here.
Excuse me?
Who are you?
I'm David.
Hi,
Who
David.
are you?
I am Professor Theodore.
Professor? What were you trying to do? Get in, I don't know, the minds of your subjects? What are you doing in there? And at that, you can hear Aiden going, "Professor!" like banging on. You can see another sarcophagus on the other side. And he's just like, "Are you kidding me? There's two of you in it." And he walks over to the other one and starts pushing this lid off. And Aiden jumps up, thinking it's you, and hugs this man, to which he quickly shoves him off, like, "Can you... I don't know what you're doing in here, but get out."
All
And
right,
Aiden-
no problem. Goodbye.
Yep. "Oh, Professor!" Like, and quickly,
I'll just
Aiden, you see
Grab
him
Aiden's
jump
hand
up.
and pull him out of the nearest door I can see.
Yeah, you can see a door that sort of leads up onto some steps, and you can head up there, and you can hear David sort of, "Oh, for God's sake," like moving all these bits around, and what you can hear is stone being pushed back.
Okay, I'm just gonna shove Aiden over. I have no idea what's going on. But he doesn't seem to want to kill us, so that's good.
So that's a positive, isn't it?
You know, compared to our past few encounters.
Uh-huh. Where are we? I didn't put myself in there. I never chose to go in there.
No, I have no idea where we are. I think we need to... This could be another thing like the train. So, if we just pretend that we belong here...
What, you think there's another me on here? And he starts looking around, and you're like on a staircase that goes up, but like you're not like in a doorway, you're not in an obvious place, and you can see him like leaning against the other wall, like...
See, I don't know, so I think that we just need to look normal and maybe go up the stairs.
Normal. Okay, I can do normal. Come on, Aiden, breathe. And you can see him sort of like straighten himself up. Looks at you. After you, Professor.
Alright. I'm gonna straighten my bow tie and try to look normal and go up the stairs.
Let's go. You start to walk up these stairs. Meanwhile, Bo, you feel tired. And you wake up. And when you come to, you're in a room. A bedroom. It has a porthole on one of the windows. Or one of the sides, rather. A very simple double bed at the center of the room that you are currently laying on. And the pillow against your cheek feels very nice and cool, as if it's just fresh. And you can feel that slight sway, very slight sway, in the boat. And next to you, you can see Edward, who still seems to be asleep, passed out completely.
Okay. I was really tired, but seeing that I'm in a bed with a man, I shoot up and I check that I'm clothed fully.
You are.
Alright.
It's okay, I love you too, Bo.
I mean, we close, but we're not that close.
You're both like literally laying on top of the covers. You've got your boots on. It's like you've been laid down on your backs completely straight.
Okay, less panic then. Out the window, does it look like it's night or day?
It looks to be sort of the sun is going down. It's nowhere near dark yet, but you can tell it's coming up to the afternoon. The sun is lower in the sky.
Right. Ed, like, hit his shoulder. Wake up.
Do I wake up?
You can wake up. You feel like this, like at the side of your arm as you're being like hit by someone.
Drill's not for 5 minutes.
We're hallucinating again, man. I don't know what this is. We're on a boat again.
He sits up slowly. We're on a boat again?
Yeah. We're on a boat and it's not going very fast. I don't know where we are. Get up, let's explore.
Okay.
Do you have any weapons with you? I'm gonna check the room that we're in for anything.
You, yes. Sorry. Zoom chat. Exactly what I was thinking. You look around the room and it's very basic. You can see fresh towels and fresh linen on like a side table. You see table and chairs, an oil lamp. You can see a bathroom that heads off from this, attached to this room. Otherwise, there's nothing else in here. And you have everything that you had on you.
Oh, cool. All right. I'm gonna peek out the door.
You open the door,
and
you see a deck. And you see an ocean. Huge, just sort of no land at all, just as far as the eye can see, this deep blue water. And you see a couple of people walking along this deck. Just people. You see a young couple walking, sort of chatting and smiling at each other. You can see what looks to be someone who maybe cleans the rooms or sorts out. You can see serves drinks as they're walking around handing them to people. And you see a very, very little old lady sort of shuffling along the deck. She's got a book in hand and she's got a walking stick as she very slowly shuffles. Not quite past you, but you can see her coming to your left. But there's quite a few people out.
What do you see?
Oh no, it looks like we're just on a cruise. It's just a bunch of normal people. We're on a boat on the ocean. I'm gonna go talk to that guy, the waiter dude.
Yep.
Excuse me, fella. I had a rough night last night. Could you tell me again what boat we're on right now? What ship we're on? Where we're sailing to? Is this an ocean?
And he looks at you and immediately takes an orange juice off of the tray and is like, yes, this is the SS Cairo. And holds out this very small glass of orange juice for you. In fact, afternoon tea will be served in the next half an hour or so, if that will help with your rough night.
Excellent. I'm also looking for some friends. Do you happen to know where Maria Santiago and Idris Hall might be staying?
I'm afraid not off the top of my head, sir, but I can certainly have a look for you. There are over 150 people on the ship, so I'm afraid I don't know all their rooms by name.
Right. Well, we're staying in that room right there. When you find out, just give me a holler.
Yes, of course. I will do that. Would your friend like some orange juice as well, as he sees sort of Edward stood in the doorway?
Yeah. Some OJ and some strong coffee, please.
Okay, and he sort of hands Edward orange juice. I will go and get that coffee for you right now. Thank you. And he sort of disappears off up the other end of the deck. And you see that little old woman still shuffling. She sort of smiles at you and then keeps on shuffling past.
When Edward's handed the orange juice, he pulls a flask out of his coat and dumps it into the orange juice. And he offers the flask to Bo.
Yeah, I'll take some and pour some into my OJ as well. Cheers. Might as well enjoy the food while we are offered it.
I mean, it's probably just sand.
Well, my taste buds don't know the difference apparently while we're here, so. What do you say? Should we explore? Should we kick it until we find out if the other two are here too?
I don't know, because, I mean, every time we go somewhere else, it's terrible. So, I don't know that staying in the room is going to help make things less terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll probably get answers faster by walking around, as much as the answers we found so far are just as terrible as everything else.
Then let's do it. Pretty much just riding this wave as it comes, you know?
And you can step out onto the deck and you feel that sea breeze, and it's quite refreshing, especially after being in a tomb or a desert. And you can smell that sort of salty sea air as you walk along the deck. You see those oil lamps, not lit, but swinging. And you probably catch up with the little old lady very quickly. And she looks over at you, both much taller than her. She's very sort of small. And she's like, you wouldn't mind helping little old me down to the restaurant area, would you? Please? As you see her, and she's really struggling, like, you know, just two fine, strapping young men like yourselves.
Oh yeah, sure. We got nothing better to do, right?
Oh, that's lovely. I'm Ruth, and she holds like out a hand to shake yours, and it's a very frail hand.
I'll do the lifting and I'll kiss her hand very lightly. It's pleasure to meet you, Ruth. You remind me of my aunt.
A charmer. Okay. Ah. And she sort of starts shuffling along. She very lightly takes your arm and looks back to Edward. She's like, is your friend coming?
He downs the entire thing of orange juice, looks at the empty glass for a moment, throws it over the side of the boat because this isn't real, so who cares? And then he goes to also offer his arm to the lady, I guess.
And she's like, oh, thank you. And takes the other one and starts heading towards the other end of the boat. And then we're going to hop over to Idris and Maria. You both wake up. And you feel, as you sort of try and open your tired eyes, warmth. And you're not on a bed. You're on almost like deck chairs on the side of on this deck. You see in between you a small table with a bottle of champagne and 2 empty glasses, and you hear people talking as they walk past you on this deck.
Well, shit, Maria, and like immediately I just kind of pop up and I grab that bottle, pop it open, just let it go flying, and then I just pour 2 glasses and hand one to Maria. I'm like, it's better than the creepy house with the mosquitoes.
I'll say it's true. But I wish it was tequila. This tastes like soap. I mean, I still drink it. It's still fine, but
It's probably sand anyways.
do you know where we are? Looking out.
Do I recognize this as the boat from prior, Alice?
No, this is
Okay.
it's got very similar features, but it's
Okay.
way just so much bigger.
Can we see like beyond the railing any like scenery going by?
You can see the ocean.
Nope.
Looking down at the glass, you know, maybe I'm so stupid, but maybe we should stop drinking and eating things when we're in this world.
You know, it's probably true, but it kind of just makes me feel better a little bit, even though it's probably gonna make me choke.
I mean, I see, pero I don't know. I don't like it. Maybe if we keep, the more we eat, the more we drink, the more of these we put into ourselves, the more often we get pulled back. Maybe it's easier.
I like lift the glass in my hand. I'm like, Maria, you could have just lied to me. If I'm gonna, go down this way anyways, and I just kind of like slowly pour it out. I'm like, well, that's it, I guess. Now, where do you think the boys are?
I don't know. Probably hiding somewhere. Or stabbing someone, losing knives. I don't know. It's what they usually do, right?
I mean, I like walk over to the edge of the boat with the railing. I'm like, I don't see Edward down there. So he's not gone swimming again.
I suppose we should go look for them, and Maria will sit up very reluctantly and kind of... Okay. Do you have Charlie?
I'm like, well, I like to think so. And I like kind of like reach back and I tap my bag and I'm like, Charlie.
You get like a tap back, like a squeak and a tap as you're guessing maybe he was asleep as well, and you've just disturbed him.
Charlie, it's not a dream. You can't just sleep the entire thing away. Although I'm kind of happy you didn't get one of those mosquito things before, because I almost had to cut my skin off, and that was not been good on you.
I was very good. I was very good at doing the practice cuts. So I think you would have been fine.
Yeah, but between Bo massaging the poison out and you cut my skin off, it was really gonna work.
And Charlie at this sort of crawls out of your bag, and he looks very sleepy-eyed, like it's almost like a slow blink as he sort of hops onto your shoulder and holds on to your shirt collar, almost like stabling himself because of how tired he is. As you get up, you see who you can assume is the captain from the uniform. He's smiling, and he's walking down the deck towards you. And you can see a very friendly, smiley face and a beard, and he tips his hat to you. He's just like, "Good afternoon, ladies," and he keeps walking past you.
Oh. Excuse me, compromiso. You know where we are right now in the ocean?
And he looks at you, and he laughs, and turns around, and walks away.
Que grosero. There's no need to be rude about it.
And as you say that, from the direction you're looking, you see a man dressed in a captain's uniform with a beard and a very smiling face walking down the deck towards you. He tips his hat. "Good afternoon, ladies."
I flip him off.
And he walks past you. Flip him off. He walks past you.
Okay, it's one of these again. Do we follow where he's going or follow where he's been?
I don't really know if it matters. I think whatever this thing is going to show us, it's gonna show us what it wants to show us, anyways.
I mean,
say
we can
handsome.
we can try to trick it and do what it thinks we wouldn't do. I mean, last time when we got the long spindly boy down and we shot him in the face, I'm pretty sure that's not what it thought it would do. So maybe if we do something unexpected, it will.
Good afternoon, ladies. As you
Oh,
see a captain walk past you and tip his hat.
You know,
Oh,
I'm just gonna pants him, but if you're suggesting shooting him, sure, why not?
I mean, it's a way. It's always a way. So maybe next time I shoot him, next time here, I'll be out and ready.
And if you're staying where you are, then you see the captain walking towards you. He tips his hat. Good afternoon, ladies. And walks past you.
I shoot him in the back of the head.
Can you roll for me, please? You blast this captain in the back of the head. And blood splatters. And he turns around and looks at you. And you can now see through him. Is this sort of now mess of his face. Good afternoon, ladies.
Oh, let's see. We have your attention. See, we want to know where exactly we are, and we're looking for some of our friends.
He tips his hat,
Oh,
turns
jeez.
his back, and he walks away.
Okay, Idris, we need to get moving on. This man is useless.
I mean, I guess we could have known that. I think most of the men in our life are quite useless.
I mean, to be fair, Charlie's great.
He
Yeah, you
squeaks
know.
at that.
The boys here aren't too bad either.
I see.
Some can shoot, some know things, some can swim real well.
Well,
You
some are
know.
a little pretty, you know.
Well, yeah, some are a little pretty. Little too pretty, you know.
I don't know. I think maybe a little sensitivity isn't much better than too much machismo sometimes.
I know, but I don't like a man who's prettier than me.
Oh, it's impossible, Idris.
Oh, stop it, Maria. And I guess, should we follow the captain?
Oh, see, we follow him. We see if there's blood and, you know, all that good stuff. It's like the Scooby-Doo.
And you can start walking. But Theodore, you can emerge. You feel that sunlight as you come up a set of stairs, and you've walked down a couple of corridors. You've seen lots of rooms, lots of corridors. You've even seen a ballroom that you've walked past, and a huge indoor restaurant. And you find these stairs that lead you up to look out over the ocean as you hear a gunshot go off. And Aiden looks at you and stares. That wasn't me.
So, I know we're supposed to act normal, but I think most people normally, when they hear a gunshot, would be worried.
Right? And you just hear, sorry, excuse me, as someone walks past you up the stairs.
There was a... Alright. I don't really want to go anywhere near the gunshot, I don't think.
No. And he sort of looks around. And again, you see people coming up the staircase, people coming down the staircase, all passing you as if
Do
nothing
any
has
of
been
them
happening.
look up? No, okay. I'm just gonna flag down one of them. Hello?
Yes, hello. And it's just a fairly youngish woman who's like, how can I help you?
Did you hear that?
Hear what?
The birds in the sky, I guess. Never mind, don't worry about it.
We're out at sea. You shouldn't hear too many birds. Oh, did you mean the gunshot?
Yes.
Yes.
Is that normal?
I don't know.
Alright. Have you seen a woman with a monkey?
And pauses again. I believe Idris is up on deck. Is that who you're looking for? Or do you mean Maria?
Yes, either of them. Yes.
Yes, they're up there.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, excuse me. I'm having tea down in the restaurant. Excuse me. And she sort of slides past.
I'm gonna let her slide past. I'm gonna look at Aiden. And then I'm gonna book it up there.
He's up. It sort of runs after you. But you can thunder onto this deck and you can see Idris and Maria sort of having this conversation. Maria has her shotgun out. Or whatever it is that Maria has. You can see Charlie jumping up and down, sort of holding onto Idris's hair. And you see a blood splatter across the floor in front of them that trails off down to the other end of the deck.
I'm just gonna run up to them. Hi.
Hola.
Do you know who I am? Are you real?
I think you're Prophet Eddie, see? And Breadstick Boy also.
Wait. And Aiden stops. He's like, how do we know you are the you we're looking for?
I mean, and she points to the blood trail with her gun and is just like, you want to give me a quiz? I can pass it.
I'll turn to Charlie. Tiny friend.
And he reaches out to you and starts trying to get into your bag because you're the one who gave him fruit. So he starts sort of looking in your pockets, looking in everything as he climbs over onto you.
Alright, I'm gonna pat him on the head. Aiden, I think they're real.
And he's looking, he's gone white. He's looking at this blood splatter on the floor and he's just swaying a little bit.
Oh, Breadstick Boy, you really gotta hold it together. She just shopping fake captain. It's not like the real.
See, he was fine. I mean, we could see through him, but he kept talking like normal, so... And then he walked off.
Anyways.
He walked it off?
I'll see. We were going to follow him if you want to come too.
You shot him and he walked it off?
Oh yeah, right in the back of the head.
So this is fake again, like the train.
See. I hope so.
Alright. Well, we were in tombs.
So
that was interesting.
On this boat?
Yes.
I hugged someone called David.
You did?
Oh.
Not on
David's
purpose.
Favorite day, I think.
I would not recommend hugging anyone. We were talking about maybe not trying to eat or drink while we're here.
He's looking at the empty glasses and the bottle in Idris's hand, okay.
I mean, as in the future.
What about the others? Are the others here? Where are they?
They're not swimming. Maybe we find out if we follow the bloody captain.
You want to follow it?
I mean, shooting him didn't work, so...
Isn't he going to be mad?
No.
He didn't seem mad. He tipped his hat. He said, "Good afternoon, ladies," and he kept going, so...
He walked by 5 times. I don't really think he's got much place to go no more. So...
Okay.
Yeah.
You meet anyone yet, or no?
David.
Aside from your new friend, very good friend, David. And the old man, or the puppy, or the lady with the cigarette.
There was a woman that knew all of your names.
Who was she?
I don't know. It was just a woman on the ship.
Huh. We haven't met a woman on the ship.
No, this time.
I think we should try to find Bo.
See, and Daddy.
Yes.
You think if we just walk around yelling Bo and Eddie, anyone would even care? I mean, I don't care when we shoot them in the face.
I mean, have you asked anyone if they've seen them?
Oh, the captain before we shot him, but
Had he indicated that he had seen them?
actually, I don't know if we actually asked him. Idris, did we ask him?
No, I don't think we didn't. We asked him where we were, and he laughed at us and kept going. But then he came back again and again.
Do I see anybody else on the deck?
There's quite a few people up here. There's a little old lady with a walking stick, and there is what looks to be like a waiter with a tray of orange juice.
All right, I'll just holler over at the little old lady. Madam.
Hello! As she sort of shuffles over and looks at all of you very eagerly, like quite happy to be spoken to and called over.
Hi. Do you know who our companions are?
I'm Ruth! And holds out a hand.
Hi, Ruth, and I'll shake it. Have you seen my actor friend?
You're who?
So you don't know Bo?
Oh, darling, I've just met you. How would I know who your friends are?
Because sometimes things work that way. It's fine. And I'll just turn back to the rest and go.
They say that once you spend enough time with people, they start looking similar, and you seem like a pretty sharp eyes. So we were wondering if you see anyone who looks like Teddy here. You know, good friends.
And she sort of smiles very like broadly at all of you, like, no, I'm actually traveling on my own. So.
Well, have you seen a very pretty man, and then the other one that might be damp?
And she looks over and leans closer to you, Idris. And she comes up to like hear on you. There are a lot of pretty men on this ship. And smiles at you.
Like abnormally pretty, Miss Ruth.
What does abnormally pretty mean? Because there's some. I haven't seen any soggy ones.
You know, if you don't know what it is, and I simply can't describe it, you just gotta see it.
Oh, sort of, you know it when you see it type.
No, yeah.
Oh.
It's like when you see them, like your ears turn red, and you just say something very stupid.
You know, I get the same effect from whiskey.
See, he is a man as good as nice aged whiskey. I think maybe you can help us look for him now that you know what we're looking for. Do you fancy a walk?
A walk along the veranda. Yes, let's do. I'm very slow, but I can try and keep up.
I can carry you if no.
No, I don't think that would be necessary. It's very indecent, but thank you.
I think at the repeated mention of how pretty the other men are, I'm just gonna like glance over to Aiden and give like this knowing glance of like, I think they fancy him.
Yeah, and Aiden's like, just nodding in like, and he sort of looks. You see him sort of look down at himself briefly, and then back up again. Well, where would you like to look for them?
I think just down this way, and she's gonna point like down the way that there's blood to see if the lady's gonna react at all to the trail of blood.
Yeah, she sort of walks over, goes, steps out the way, is like, someone spilled their drink, and keeps walking.
It's hard to find good help to clean things up like that, isn't it, Idris?
You know, it's hard to find a lot of things these days.
See?
Yeah. I mean, you could try the bar. It'd be the most likely place to find them.
Well, what bar do you want to go to? The bar, or the restaurant bar, or the tea bar? Like, which one? This is quite a large ship.
I didn't think there'd be so many bars on this ship, ma'am. I'm not gonna lie to you. I did not think that far ahead, I guess.
It's a cruise ship, dear.
Never been on a cruise ship before. I guess.
Oh, this is your first time. How delightful! How are you enjoying the dinners when we dress for dinner?
I just love it. I love it so much on this boat. It feels like a dream.
No, it does, doesn't it? And she starts shuffling forwards.
I think she's crazy, y'all. I don't know what to tell y'all. I think we should ditch her, go find them, check the 3 bars. We could check 3 before she can get to 1.
No, you don't want to ditch me, sweetie. Otherwise, you're not going where you're going.
I think she could hear me. I'm terrified.
My eyes are gonna get really wide, and I'm just gonna like get up to Aiden, like.
Yeah, you feel him like there's like his face doesn't change. It's very thin, but you just feel like a hand clamp on your arm as she says that.
Idris, you know the thing, and Teddy, that happened, where the drink was spilled, back there. Spilled. You think maybe we see if anyone else needs to spill the drink?
I mean, what's it going to hurt at this point?
I don't know. I mean,
I got this bottle. Do you want to fill a drink with this bottle? I don't know. She's weirding me out.
Madam, where do you think, which bar you think our friends are at?
Turn round and look up again, and she's just stood there smiling at you. Probably the restaurant. They're serving afternoon tea soon. And she smiles.
Okay, so maybe we go and we get the table, so that when you get there, you don't have to stand in line and wait and on your feet. I'm sure they're all swollen and terrible.
You talk about your own feet, darling. Mine are rather fine. Anyway, it's table service. And she sort of tilts her head to look at you.
Okay. Well, we go, I guess. Maybe, hopefully no one will spill their drink at dinner or tea or lunch. I don't even know what time it is anymore.
Let's hope not. It'll be an awful waste. And she starts to walk along the deck, and there's a set of stairs, much grander than the ones that Theodore and Aiden came up. These look like you're meant to be going down these into, it sort of goes into the ship, and you see all this wooden paneling sort of either side as you go deeper into the ship, and it opens up to almost like a hall where you can see a couple of people chatting. Some of them have drinks, and some more sort of wooden doors with glass windows in them. And through that you can see a bar and a restaurant. And this little old lady shuffles up to the door, and you see her reach out her shaky little hand and open it and walk in, and she's greeted by one of the waiters. And she's like, yes, a table for 5, please. I have company. And she looks back at all of you.
And maybe if you have something for 7, just in case we see the people we're looking for, see?
Ah, more the merrier. And she does, it's like 7. And the waiter nods and starts to walk in with her. Edward and Bo.
Scan before we run in. Is that possible?
You want to do a what, sorry?
Can we just scan before we cross that threshold?
Yeah, look, do like a spot hidden for me, please. All of you can do it if you're all looking.
Yeah. Barely.
Okay, so those of you who passed, you can see this. This is a normal restaurant. You can see that the floor itself, some of it's tiled, and you can see where it becomes a ballroom. Probably at one point where they pull the chairs away and everything to that effect comes about. You can see a stage-ish area where you're pretty sure like a live band, or a string quartet is probably accompanies dinner and things like that. There's quite a few people sitting down to afternoon tea. You can hear the clank of sort of metal as these sort of tiered tea sets are set down with sandwiches and cakes and scones, and you can also hear the sort of the tinkering of like crockery as teapots are placed on tables.
I see nothing.
Looks like we got a new
Looks
friend.
normal to me.
And we hop over to Bo and Edward, who, hello Raiders, welcome in. We are, oh, don't know where we are, can't say, but we, Bo and Edward, you've got this little old lady's very frail arms wrapped around both of you as she walks you towards these wooden doors with the glass windows of this restaurant area. You can see a band playing, a dance floor open, and a waiter comes up to you and she indicates for a table for 3. And she starts to walk over to one of these sort of a very small circular table with white linen cloth over the top, and it's all set for lunch. And she sort of settles down into the chair and indicates for you both to sit in the others.
Yeah, I'll sit on one side of her and indicate to the waiter before they disappear to my glass, like, top it off right now.
Yeah, he gives you a nod and he goes, you can see him over to the bar, and she's like, just tea for me, and sort of shuffles off. And she looks over at both of you. So, what are 2 fine young men doing on a trip like this?
Well, I guess we're just here for fun.
No, like
Yeah.
me then.
Fun.
It's our first time cruising, and my friend Eddie here isn't as comfortable in the water as some other people.
Oh, no, it's not. Do you get seasick?
It's falling off.
Oh. Do you swim often?
Occasionally, when the need arises.
Oh, okay. That's very nice. And what about you? As looks over at Bo. Do you swim for leisure or for when the need rises?
I'd say both. More for fun these days than anything. I have a lot of time to kill, it seems. I just keep hopping from one adventure to the next. So just kind of taking whatever life throws at me, you know?
Oh, time does run away from you, though. Very quickly.
Sure does. I don't know how long I've been here with you even.
Well, we only met this morning. Well, I saw you. You were, well, I introduced myself to you.
Oh, I'm so sorry. My name is Bo Franklin Veed, madam. Pleasure.
Absolute pleasure. And your friend who swims only when it's necessary?
Edward Wells.
It's lovely to meet you, Edward. Very lovely. And she just sits there and smiles as this waiter comes over and places this cup of tea down in front of her. She sort of gives him a nod. And Bo, your drink is topped up, as is yours, Edward. And you can hear that cling as she sort of puts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sugars in her cup of tea and starts to stir. Just smiling at you both as you do.
Bo, should we have gotten a table for, 6 or 7?
Sure, we can add a few chairs if the need arises. I'm gonna take a scan of the restaurant and see if we recognize anyone.
Okay, can you make a spot hidden check for me, please?
Spot hidden.
You glance around for a moment. You're not sure if you recognize anyone, but it's very crowded, and it's actually quite noisy when it comes to it, with some music playing and people chatting. It's almost disorientating, and you can't recognize anyone. So, what do you do?
I am a thespian.
Oh, she sort of like pulls out, like she takes her napkin and sort of pats the side of her mouth, is like, so you're famous?
I am very famous, and I constantly swarmed by many adoring fans, so it's nice to be away from the crowds for once. But in fact, I was about to ask, I've been so delighted by your company, if you wouldn't mind joining me on the dance floor.
Oh, gosh, okay. And she sort of claps like her 2 little hands together. So I'm very slow, and sort of tries to like shuffle herself up. And thank you for those subs to Feels to Me Man and Jazura. I can never say that word. Jazura Black. I'm really sorry. And Ruth sort of shuffles on her chair back and slides off the chair and sort of waits almost expectantly, looking at you with her 2 hands clasped together.
And I'll get up and come round to her, offer my hand, and bow slightly to help her up off her chair.
Oh, thank you. And she sort of takes your hand and allows you to lead her to the dance floor.
And I look back at Edward, do a look around the room or a lap around the room, find someone. And I'm gonna lead Ruth out to kind of the edges of the dance floor and use it as a way for me to look around the room as well.
Yeah, of course. If you could roll me... Let's do both do another spot hidden check. Just have a look around the room. Okay. And if Edward wants to have a look around the room as well, then go ahead and roll another spot hidden. Okay. Edward, you... First of all, you see Bo lead Ruth away, and in a very sort of almost shaky slow motion, you see Ruth looking down at her feet and trying to copy whatever Bo does as they start to dance around the outside of this dance floor. And the waiter comes over and tops up your glass again. And you look over this restaurant in general, and you can see the couple you saw earlier up on deck, and just lots of other people all having sort of a fun time. And you sort of peer through as you hear another clink of glasses, almost like a cheers, that draws your attention. And you see a man in a soldier's uniform sat at the table on his own. He sits there, unmoving. His back isn't to you, it's more you can see him from the side. And he remains very, very still. You do not see the rest of your party.
Edward will go sit down in front of the man in the military uniform.
You can slide down into the seat. And this man sits very upright. Very, very upright. And he looks at you. Good afternoon.
Afternoon. Have you been on the boat long?
Are you a good man, Edward? And his face is plain. There's no sort of hint of anger, there's no hint of sadness, happiness. It's almost like as if it's devoid of emotion.
I try my best.
Would you kill a man?
I have before.
Would you do it again?
If circumstances are right, probably. There are times in life when it's kill or be killed.
What if? And his hands slide across the table and there is a wodge of money. Are the circumstances enough now? They were before, Edward.
People can change.
Can you?
That's the question, isn't it? And he takes the money as he says that.
You can feel it. You feel that paper. You can flick it. It feels like real money. Here's another. And he pushes another wedge of money across the table. Do you want another?
That depends. Who is this person you want me to kill?
I don't want you to kill them. I'm just wondering if you would. And his head moves and turns to look at Bo and Ruth, who are dancing
Welcome
around
to
the
the
bar.
academy. Please take your seats.
And I need you to make a sanity check.
Okay. Failed by 4 points.
Can you spend on sanity? I can't remember. I don't think you can.
I don't think you can.
No, you can roll advantage, I think, but not spend the luck points.
Sure, I was generously gifted a bunch of advantage.
Yeah, go for it. If you want to re-roll,
I'll re-roll again. Yay!
If anyone needs advantage, it's poor Eddie.
You glance over for a moment at Bo, who dances around this ballroom with Ruth. And it's almost like a flicker, like a static on the dance floor at the very center where all these people danced is the dead body of the man you killed. Blood pooling across the dance floor, underneath Bo's shoes, underneath Ruth's shoes. And a little girl stands looking down at it.
Edward gets up quickly, knocking his chair over, and he just goes to Ruth and Bo, and he grabs Bo, and he's like, we need to leave now. We're leaving.
Bo, you see none of what is on the floor. You don't see the little girl. You just see a very startled Ruth, like, oh!
Excuse me, Ruth. I'll walk off to the side with Ed. What happened?
There was a man, and he offered me a bunch of money, and he kept offering me a bunch of money, and he asked if I could kill anyone, and you are dancing on top of a dead body. There's blood everywhere, and we need to leave now.
I don't see anything, but I believe that he's saying this because we've just been through that too many times. Okay, all right. Well, let's do one more quick sweep of the room and make sure that our friends aren't here and we can go.
I'm pretty sure if they were here, they'd have noticed us by now.
All right.
I'm making a little bit of a scene at this point. I don't know if you've realized, but we need to leave.
And people have stopped on the ballroom. The music has stopped. People at the tables have stopped what they were doing. And Ruth walks over to you all. Is there something the matter?
I left the sink on in our room. We gotta go turn it off. See you later, Ruth. It was a great time on the floor.
Oh, okay. She sort of looks down and sort of shuffles over back to her table and sits down.
All right, we can go.
Edward just starts, he doesn't let go of Bo's arm, but he just starts going, and he's gonna pull Bo along.
On your way out, Theodore, Idris, and Maria, you see a commotion on the dance floor. And you see Edward grabbing Bo, and you can't hear what they're saying, but everyone has sort of stopped in a panic, like, what is happening? Sort of thing.
Do you see them?
See, Eddie, Soggy Boy, Bo, can you hear us?
And you can hear and see your friends.
Oh, they're here. They're actually here. Come on, guys.
I drag Bo over to them.
And Charlie jumps off your shoulder, Idris, and runs to a table. A table where Ruth sits. Not your Ruth. Another Ruth. And she looks and smiles and starts feeding him a piece of cake, which he takes.
Charlie, no, Charlie, put down.
Espera, Idris, the last time we see something not so good, Charlie, he seems like he knows it. So maybe this is
Yeah.
okay.
I don't know. This lady creeps me out, and there's two of them. I really don't like her.
Ruth, you have a twin?
And the little old lady looks up at you and smiles. No.
Oh, okay, Charlie.
And
I like get up.
looks at you, and he's just holding this cake in his hand that this other Ruth is holding, and he's just sort of like looking at you like, and takes a bite, and just to see if you're gonna like tell him off or something.
I like go over as quickly as I possibly can, grab Charlie, like pat his back, almost like burping a baby, trying to get the cake out of his mouth as gently as I can to his little monkey body.
Yeah, you can. It's not even like.
Like put him back in the bag and like I let his head pop out, but I kind of like cinch it a little bit like tighter so he's not gonna like go for the cake.
And
I'm like,
Ruth sits at the table as you've taken this like first. Like, oh, I'm so sorry. Is he not allowed cake?
he's allergic to gluten, and I just like run away. I run back to the group.
Your other Ruth, who is with you in this group, is sort of looking at you all as you gather together. It's like, so are these your friends?
See, this is Bo. He is the whiskey man.
You're
And,
right, they are pretty.
I'll see. And Eddie, he's the soggy boy. And you already know Prophet Eddie, he's the brains. And Aiden, he brings the breadsticks.
Aiden sort of gives you a sign. How lovely.
Sí, pero do you know this lady? And I want to point to the other Ruth across the room.
She looks over, and the other Ruth is no longer there. So, what? Sorry, my old eyes must be playing up on me.
I lean in to this other Ruth and I say, "It's a pleasure to meet you, madam."
Hello.
And I go a little closer to her ear. Now, which one of our friends here told you I was pretty?
And she sort of smiles, leans in, and just does like a little point at Idris. And Maria just, they're right, you know.
Oh, yeah, well, can't blame them.
And she sort of like has a tiny little chuckle about it as you say that. It's like, well, I was going to get tea, but I don't know if and she's sort of looking around as some people are still looking at what the commotion has just happened. It's like, I don't know if I want to in here anymore.
Theodore is gonna just like push his chair out from the thing very noisily. I think you should get tea for all of us, and we will be right back because we're here on we need to have a very quick meeting about the expedition that we are, because I'm a professor. So just give us just a moment.
Of course. And she sort of she sits herself down at the table very sort of neatly and calls over a waiter.
And I'm just trying to get everyone to like go out into the hallway.
That's really easy. Edward's been standing there like trying not to do anything too disruptive, getting just more and more like.
If everyone gets out into the hallway, I'm gonna like do that thing where I just like grab like Edward by the shoulders. I feel like I haven't seen you in weeks. Okay, we're all together. What?
She is scary. I don't like her.
No.
She's terrifying.
I mean, again, I can make her spill if you need. That is I look around to make sure Ruth is like busy not being close to us and say, that is a way to set a shoot in the head.
I definitely gathered that, yes. But there's more than one.
And the
See.
captain too. There's like he keeps walking back the same way, and I don't really like this boat no more. I don't think I like boats.
See, I think I never want to be on a boat again, and it's okay.
Ultimately, it really seems like all these fictional places that we are in. Does anything we do in them even matter?
No, I shot someone in the head and he just kept walking. I mean, he talked for a little bit, but
Are we at least learning something? Is anything...
Has anyone been here before? Any one of us?
Well, I know we're on the SS Cairo, and it's a cruise ship, but other than that, no.
But why were you running so quickly out of the dance floor?
Oh, someone weird was approaching Ed and asked him some messed up questions, and apparently he started to see something, like we all have. Specifically a dead body and blood on the dance floor, so we were trying to haul ass out of here.
Weird questions like what, Eddie?
Weird questions like, would you kill a person? Does this make the situation appropriate for you to kill a person? And stuff like that. Stuff that just, you don't ask. That's not normal. You don't, he just can't talk.
Are they still there? Inside? Because I will kill him if you want me to.
I mean, didn't you just say you
shot someone in the head and nothing happened? You think shooting this other person is gonna matter?
Maybe we throw him overboard and then he stops asking questions.
Yeah, actually, that sounds good.
So, do you see him or no?
I turn and look. Are they still there?
He's sat at the table. He's got his back to you now, as the distance you are from him, but he's still sat there very upright. There is no money on the table, though.
So the way I see this is I think we probably have two options. We could just go and safely sequester ourselves in a room until the ship gets to its destination, and then maybe this will stop. Or we just deal with the fact that everything is horrifyingly creepy and try to figure out if there's any sort of information that we're supposed to be ascertaining from this.
True, but didn't you say you were in a sarcophagus?
Yes, and I don't want to go back there, if possible.
It's
What's your name on it?
I didn't really look. David was very not happy that we were in there. I probably should have looked, you're right.
Well, we can shoot David.
I don't know if that's... Oh dear. We should have looked.
I mean, based on what you've said, if we shoot David, all we're gonna do is have less ammo.
Alright.
We throw him overboard. That works too. Or, Idris and I, we turn up the Lady Charm and distract him away. You look and you see if maybe your name is on it.
I am filled with Lady Charm.
At this, you can see Ruth hobbling over to you. She's like, all the tea's here.
One more moment, ma'am.
But it's getting dark. And the tea will get cold.
But isn't this afternoon tea?
Yes.
What time does it get dark here?
It doesn't have a time.
What time is it now?
And she sort of looks down at her watch. About 3 p.m.
But it's getting dark. Okay, we will be right there. I promise. I don't want to burn my mouth. It's very sensitive,
She takes 3 steps back and waits.
So we're gonna throw some guy overboard.
I'm starting to think we throw Ruth overboard.
I mean, think about what we've done in other little mental trips we've been taking. We find something, and it tends to bring us back, like an object.
I think the sarcophagi is that's where we should go, and he's also tired of Ruth, so he just grabs, since he lets go of Bo, and he grabs Aiden and Teddy. He's like, "Where are those sarcophagi?" And he starts dragging them away from Ruth, away from the restaurant.
Ruth slowly follows.
Oh no.
Yes. Careful, you get lost in the dark.
You have a light, or?
No, the captain has the light.
I think I blow his light out on accident.
And Ruth looks mildly confused at you.
Spill the drink, spill the drink, spill the drink, let's go.
And
Super.
Ruth starts to smile wider and wider until the tip of the smile comes to just underneath her cheekbones. You'll get lost in the dark.
With you?
And she smiles. Yes.
Do you want to dance, Ruth? You and I can stay here.
And she looks over at you. Yes. We should dance.
No!
Y'all go. Get the thing.
Theodore is gonna push in and just shove Ruth back with all of his strength.
Roll a strength for me.
Shit, I will.
Buff Teddy.
When you first go to push Ruth out the way, this friend woman catches your arm solid and looks at you, but then allows herself to be pushed back as you can force her back.
I just try to push her to the ground. Let's go.
You shove an old lady to the ground.
Not
That's
the worst
not
thing we did.
As you do, you hear lights out and the whole ship goes dark.
The flashlight, please, sucky boy.
Yeah, as soon as he's already pulling it out of the bag. Like, come on, turn on. Turn on.
And after a few frantic clicks, it turns on and that beam lights up, and you are no longer in the restaurant. You're all on your own in a corridor with wooden panels and a velvet sort of red patterned carpet with all of these doors on the sides.
Eddie, shine it on us. And everybody take a hand. And that way we don't get lost, see? Just don't let go.
I put myself between the two women.
I grab breadstick boy with my other hand.
Aiden's like, and won't let go of Theodore.
I just put my hands wherever.
Yeah, since
Whoever
Eddie's
grabs
got
them.
light, I'll grab Teddy's other. I have Bo on one side and Teddy on the other.
And Edward has the light, right?
Yeah, I guess he needs a free hand at least.
Okay.
I assume.
And you stand in this corridor.
Are we still on the ship?
Still on the ship.
All right, Teddy, where are we going?
I think down. I kind of ran up, so I don't have it. Aiden, do you remember?
And Aiden looks mildly he just looks lost. He looks panicked. He's like, I don't remember coming down here.
It's fine. We just need to find the stairs that go down, but aren't the nice ones.
Okay.
Okay, pero there are lots of doors. What if something comes out of one of these?
As you say that, one of the door bangs, shakes, and the door handle rattles, as if something's trying to get out of it.
Run.
Sort of a bang on the right-hand side of you. It's just a jump over and over again as something bangs against it.
I'm trying to go forward, but I'm trapped in two people.
So who's got Edward's free hand if he's got the flashlight? Or does no one have Edward's hand?
I think Maria.
Yeah, because I tried to grab Aiden, but he was like all over. So
Okay, so when the door starts slamming, Edward tries to just take off running.
Can all of you make a dexterity check because you're not ready for Edward to move this fast?
I was also trying to move forward, so.
Oh, okay.
I will probably want to use advantage on this. I'm gonna call it before I roll it.
Okay. So you all stumble.
no.
Other than Idris, who takes off after you. Like as Eddie moves, Idris, you can sort of keep up as you go. Theodore, you were not ready. You were not realizing how attached Aiden was to you at the time. It's almost like a dead weight on you as you don't fall over, but you definitely stumble and you let go of the other hands. And Bo, you lose grip of Idris as she runs after Edward. You still have a firm grip on Maria, but you both sort of stumble as this door bangs loudly. However, Maria, on a fumble...
I rolled with advantage!
Oh yes, of course you did. Sorry.
Stop trying to kill me!
You can both just stumble into the door and you feel it hit again and again. As you hear Ruth's voice. Should have danced with me. And Edward and Idris, you can take off down the hallway.
Oh,
I'm just gonna run until there's something in my way at this point, I think.
There is another door at the very far end of this corridor.
am I holding on to Eddie still? Is that who I have
Yeah,
holding
you've
on to?
literally grabbed Eddie and Eddie's taken off and you've
Eddie, no.
Your
I'm like,
balance
I'm just
going.
gonna pull back. I'm like, we have people left behind, Eddie. Like,
Does Eddie resist or?
I mean, do we come to the door before she starts pulling on me, or does that...
You can arrive at the door, you don't have to burst through it or anything. You can arrive at the door.
If we make it to the door and she's like, Eddie, no, we need to stop, he probably would stop at that point.
now, can you flashlight back? Make sure our friends are still there and we can grab them. And this time, I guess link arms. I guess hands aren't strong enough here.
Yeah, I can. And he turns to shine the light back down.
They're gone.
Ah, pedal sticks. Eddie, we lost them all now. And they don't have a light.
He actually like takes a breath and he's just like, sorry, I'm sorry. I just...
I mean,
go back.
I mean, I don't really know what we're supposed to do in all these places. Nothing makes sense. One way is not the way you think you're going. There's creepy old ladies, weird mosquitoes. I don't really know anything about this. Does anything even matter anymore?
I don't know.
Door
What's even real?
A door opens.
Oh, pedal sticks round 2.
It opens very slowly, and two small children's shoes just appear from behind the door as the little girl stands there and walks into the center of the corridor and looks at both of you. And she holds a music box in her hand.
Do I recognize it as Rebecca?
You do. She doesn't say anything, but she places it down on the floor, walks back into the room, and closes the door.
Alrighty then. Do you, Edward, recognize this perchance, this being someone you clearly know?
I recognize her from having seen her in the crazy stuff going on, but other than that, I don't know her.
Oh.
But if
Who is she?
last time she was with Bo's brother, and I think they were trying to tell us something, so maybe this is still help.
Okay. And I'll lean down and I'll pick up the music box and inspect it.
Okay, what are you trying to look?
I guess, is it just a regular box? Is it more like a ballerina?
It's kind of like a ballerina box. You can see what looks to be probably nursery rhyme sort of imagery all the way around it, and it's just got a small clasp to keep it closed. It's not like it's locked, it's not anything like that.
I open it.
As you open it, a soft tune sounds, and a ballerina slowly starts to spin at the center. A mirror behind it, reflecting the ballerina. And as this tune sounds, at the other end of the corridor, you hear steps. The faster the ballerina spins, the faster the steps move.
Eddie, what's down there?
I don't know. And he turns the flashlight.
There is a figure there.
Oh, this music.
It takes a step forward and forward, almost in a broken-like form. As the music gets faster and faster, the footsteps get faster as it moves closer towards you. You can see the shoulders disjointed, you see the legs disjointed as it starts to make its way along the corridor towards you. And Idris, as you're looking at this ballerina, a face appears in the mirror behind it. You can't identify it because it is as close as an eye looking at you and blinking. And this thing breaks into a run as you leave this ballerina box open.
I shot it. I shot that sucker.
I start shooting at the thing.
You roll to shoot, please. And Idris, as you slam this music box shut.
I'm going to use an advantage.
Go for it.
Oh, yeah. Hard success twice.
Jeez! As you do this, Idris, as you slam the box shut, it's about 10 feet away from you and it's frozen in spot. And Edward, you hear you fire off these two shots. It doesn't move and you strike once sort of in its chest, and then you see its head flip back briefly and stay there as you fire into its forehead. You see its shoulders readjust and its head pull back down to look at you as it lowers itself almost into a crawling-like position.
Oh,
and we're going to hop over to Theodore, Bo, and Maria. As you stand there, you look at the end of the corridor where your friends should be. They're not there.
I mean, we have to go forward. Can't just stay in the middle of the hallway.
Say, but very, very quietly.
Theodore, I can't hear you.
Where's the woman?
Is it like dark, like?
It's pitch black. And Edward, I'm afraid, took your torch.
Okay.
Not fire on a stick. Flashlight, sorry.
So, we link arms again. I'll run my hand down the wall and make sure that we're going straight.
We all hold hands again, right?
Let's see.
Yes. I'm gonna search for my lighter. I did have a lighter.
You can flick on the lighter. Whereabouts you stood? Are you stood at the front? Or are you stood behind Maria, like as Maria's like running her hand along the wall?
I'm probably, behind Maria, but in front of the other two.
Okay. And you can start to walk along this pitch black hallway. And Maria, with your hand, you just feel that wooden paneling.
I hate this.
You go. Move the way along this corridor. Hands held. There's this tiny glow from Bo, so you can see his face a little bit.
I'm very deliberately not looking behind us where I'm positive the creepy smile probably is, and I'm just clutching onto Aiden.
He holds your hand very tightly back. And Bo, a face starts to loom in the darkness just in front of you and blows out your lighter.
Ah,
A
shit,
woman.
okay.
A woman blew the light out. You reach out, she's not there. And Maria, as you feel across the walls, you pass doors as you can feel the numbers against your fingertips. And then there's a gap where the door is open. And you reach into darkness.
I squeeze Bo's hand as soon as my hand, gets into the door.
I just hold on to you and hey, someone blew out my light, and I'm gonna try to light it again.
You can light it again. And as you light it up, at the end of the corridor is a small, almost like an orb sort of light, like a tiny glow. And it hovers up and down. It doesn't seem to be held by someone. It seems to be almost like a firefly at the end of this corridor.
When Bo lights his light the second time, because I've got Aiden on this side, I'm just gonna grab the back of Bo's shirt and clutch onto that because I know that he needs a hand for his lighter.
Can I see into the room at all with that small amount of light behind me?
Roll me a spot hidden check, please.
I would love to roll a failure on that. Oh. For the first time in the entire Call of Cthulhu, I have rolled a hard success. Is a sanity roll next.
And you see in this very dim light, it's like it only picks out certain images, like lines of things, not an actual view. You hear crying. And you see the edge of a bed. And there's someone sat at the end of it. It's too dark to see any real features, but you can tell this is a woman.
I see a woman in here who's crying. I don't know if she's better than the fireflies up there.
As you utter those words, her head snaps towards you. She stands up and speeds towards the doorway and slams it shut.
She was having a bad day. Just keep going.
Lo siento. I'm sorry. It's going to be okay. Okay. So, I guess it's the fireflies.
You start to follow along this wall again, where the small light is. It sort of dances about the place, moving down the corridor. And Bo, you feel another hand grab your shirt.
Theo,
What?
anyone behind you?
Not
Aiden?
Theo.
Danny?
Bo?
Danny, if that's you, do you want to help us get out of here? You can come with.
And there's no response, and you feel that hand let go. And then you hear Ruth's voice. Always such a mummy's boy. And that, it's almost as if you can feel her lips by your ear. Are you still a mummy's boy? Should we ask her?
We're just gonna keep moving forward. Hustle, everyone. Let's pick up the pace.
And we're gonna hop back to Idris and Edward. As you now stand in this corridor. To your right, you can see down at the other end of the corridor, there is a set of stairs that seem like a wide set of stairs that seem to curl round down into what looks like maybe another fairly large, like, hall opening, something. A bigger room rather than a corridor. And this thing is now on all fours. Limbs look broken as it is frozen in place as this music box has been closed.
I'm gonna set it on the ground very slowly to make sure it doesn't pop open. Set it on the ground and start backing away.
Are you sure you don't want to take it with in case we need to stop something else?
And as my hands were lifting up, they slowly go back down as I pick it up and take it with and go, all right, you face forward, I think, and I'll be your backside. And we're going to snuggle walk down this thing, right? I don't want to take my eyes off that thing. It is terrifying.
Oh, okay, you want to, like, link arms backwards?
Yeah,
or
kind of
something?
just one, because we've got to have a shooting hand.
Okay.
And I pull my gun out.
I need you both to make a dexterity check as you start to walk backwards towards these stairs.
I'm going to use my last advantage.
Oh, okay. So, Edward, it feels pretty awkward as you sort of work your way towards the stairs. You definitely have Idris sort of attached to your back almost. And you don't stumble at all. It's almost like you start both working in fluid motion. out of fear just to get to these stairs. And you can see this sort of oak banister polished, this grand staircase round, and you can start to make your way down them. And Idris, you don't take your eyes off this thing. However, you feel the music box try to open as you start to walk down the stairs. I'm going to need you to make a strength check to keep it shut.
Oh god, can I get that reroll?
Do you
Or-
have a reroll?
Or is it an advantage? I think
Advantage, yeah. Last one.
Oh god.
Now, it's out of sight as you turn around. You are now towards the bottom of the stairs. And Edward, you just hear that tune as the box opens. And you hear a whine. Like for at the beginning, you think it's almost like a mosquito whine. And then you realize it's actually a voice. As you hear those footsteps get faster and faster. And from where you are now, you can see the top of the stairs. 2 grey feet plant themselves on the top step. And they start to move. And then you see hands plant themselves on the steps as this thing, this person, in almost a spider-like fashion, starts crawling down the stairs towards you.
As soon as he hears it snap open, he's just like, close it, close it, close it, close it, close it, close it, close it. Please close it.
You're going to need another strength check, Idris.
I'm gonna try to close it. Oh my god.
As you see it starting, it sort of left the staircase and it started to crawl up the wall and across the ceiling as you manage to slam it shut. And it freezes. And at that point, you see its face as it looks down at you with these very hollow eyes. What would you like to do?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say run.
We should do something first, if that's okay. As soon as she gets the music box closed again, he undoes his belt and ties it around the music box, and he loops it as many times as he can.
Do a strength check just so I can see how tight you're doing it. We'll close it. I just want to see how tight it's doing it.
I'm gonna spend the 6 luck to make a success.
Okay. Then as you do this, you can firmly just tie this belt around it. You can feel it fighting you as you do it, but you manage to secure. Are you taking it with you or are you dumping it?
Well, since it seems to want to open again, I think we should keep taking it with us.
Yeah. I'm gonna agree with you and keep it, and I'm gonna be like, well, I'm gonna 2-hand hold this shut, Eddie, so I'm gonna need you to shoot real good because I can't shoot and hold this thing shut.
Okay. All
No
right.
pressure. We might die. As I 2-hand this thing as much as possible.
And I'm going to take a really quick bio, so I'll be back in just a second.
I'm going to match that.
So, if you like what we do here on Scratticus Academy, always evoking emotions, currently right now terrified, please feel free to subscribe and support the channel.
Evoking terror.
I think I am also going to use a bio because, yeah, adrenaline.
Ah.
this music on with the stream as well? Because if it is, then you guys are understanding.
No, it is absolutely chat can hear it.
I-
Chat has been freaking out about it too.
Okay, good.
Hi, chat. How are you all?
Yeah, how's it going?
We are
¿Cómo
just
está?
fine.
Yeah. I am ready to shoot something.
You've
Maybe
been itching
everybody?
to shoot stuff all the whole show.
Maybe myself is okay.
I told you to spill the drink. You didn't listen, so I had to shove an old lady.
Yeah, I should have shot her in the head, but she seemed to possibly be useful. She seemed to actually know something that was going on, and Maria was like, well, the kids seem to know what's going on, and they were helpful. She seems to know something that's going on. Maybe she... No, she's Satan.
Ugh. Okay.
Okay.
Should have put on some salsa music while you left.
So we're gonna hop back over to Theodore, Bo, Maria, and Aiden as you follow this glow down the corridor. And as I said, you can feel that if you're keeping your hand there, you feel that wooden paneling, you feel those doors, the numbers, all the way along.
Can I discern any of the numbers?
Yeah, you can feel like it seems to be like 200 and something, so like 238, and it seems to be going down.
Okay.
As you're doing this. And this light seems to be you get closer and closer to it. And then a door opens at the end of the corridor. And a woman walks out of it. Theodore, it's your sister. She walks, looks at all of you, opens the door on the opposite side and walks in. And the light follows her.
I have very little ability to do anything because I'm clutched to Aiden on one side and I'm clutched to Bo on the other side. And I'm just like seeing this past Bo's shoulder. Well, this is all definitely not real.
You know that person?
No, they just don't seem real.
Okay, so do we follow the light or do we keep going straight?
The light seems logical. We're trying to learn something here.
You feel Aiden just grip you that little bit tighter.
I'm
Okay.
gonna because Aiden knows her. I'm just gonna like try to like squeeze his shoulder like in that like don't say anything, like way.
Yeah, you just hear like a very sort of worried like like from the back. As you walk up to this doorway and look in. This is not a room. These are concrete steps down. A metal banister with yellow peeling paint. And you feel a distinct drop in temperature.
Well, that might lead us down to the sarcophagus.
I mean, it's something new, but maybe we don't find Eddie and interest this way.
Well, I mean, if we find something before they do, then it might take us all back to that temple. So
Okay.
I think finding whatever it is we're meant to find, it should be our priority before finding them.
Okay, just keep close, keep tight, see?
So do you walk down the stairs?
Yeah, I'll go first.
You walk down the stairs, and again, if you've got your hand out, you can feel that railing. And you feel it chipped and dry. And you hear water dripping from somewhere. And your footsteps echo down this concrete set of stairs. And you hear other footsteps ahead of you where you were following this light. And you reach the bottom. And it's almost, there's one corridor ahead of you where you can see one small light flickering at the end. You can't quite see what it's above. And then to your right, there seems to be another corridor, much shorter, with a room at the back. No door on it, but there is a room.
Boat.
The light or the room?
The footsteps were by the room or by the light.
The light you see at the end of the corridor is a physical light, like an oil lamp.
Oh, it's not the light.
The light you see in the small room.
Probably the room. I think we're being shown something.
Let's go there.
Maybe we should grab the torch first in case the light goes out.
Oh, okay. Does the torch come off the wall?
It is high up. You probably need to give one another a boost to get up there, but you'd have to walk down to the other end of the corridor to do so.
There's something down there.
Maybe we just go to the light first, and then if it goes out, we know where the torch is. It's okay.
Okay. So the room then.
See, porque no, it's a good day to die, see?
And you start to walk down the corridor. And there's a sign on the wall. It says medical ward. And the room at the end is pretty empty apart from 2 metal bunks. There's no bedding on them. Nothing. It's pitch black. But because they're white, they pick out slightly. And the light, this almost firefly-like light, drifts towards the corner of the room. And you hear breathing.
Hello?
In for penny and for pound, see?
There is no response, but you hear the breathing get louder. And this light just hovers in this corner of the room.
I'll walk towards the corner. I'm pretty sane. I think I can take it.
You can walk towards the corner of the room, and this light doesn't move from you. You can walk right up to it if you want, as it hovers there. Sort of not spinning, that's right. It's like I said, it's like a firefly. It moves spontaneously, and it hovers right in front of your face. And that breathing just echoes around you, behind, in front, side to side.
I can try to touch it. Maybe.
Go for it.
As you reach out to touch it, two hands come over and clap it out. And I need you to make a sanity check for me, please. As you stand there and you hear that breathing and you clap that light out, you suddenly are faced with 4 people. They are inches away from you, in front, one each by your ear, and one breathing down the back of your neck as you listen to them breathing heavily. They don't say anything, but their eyes are wide as they try and maintain contact with your own. And you lose 4 sanity as you gain. It's not a permanent thing, but at the moment, no matter what happens, you will always hear them breathing.
Oh.
Did the light go out for the rest of you?
The light is gone and the rest of you have been thrown into complete darkness. You don't see these people, but you hear them. And you see wet footsteps emerging on the floor all around Maria.
Lighter out, and I want to reach and grab Maria.
You can grab Maria.
I pulled her in tight. And I'm waving the light around to see if I see anyone with the breaths.
You cast this light around, you see nothing. But Maria, you see Bo waving this lighter in the faces of 4 men who watch you.
I think you're making them angry with the light.
Well, I can't see without it, and you know what, guys? You're freaking us out. We just want to get out of your hair. We don't want to be here either. So, I want to go up to the door, or whatever it was that the light stopped in front of, and try and open it.
You go down to the other end of the corridor.
To the torch? Or the oil lamp or whatever?
The oil lamp, yeah. So as you leave this room, like, you can back out of this room, you don't have to turn your backs. But they watch you go, unmoving. In fact, one of them climbs back on the bunk and lays down. As you back out down this corridor, and you return to where the long corridor is with that flickering sort of oil lamp at the end. You see a plaque on the wall. Another one. Big one. It says, "Deaths at Sea." And there's a long list of people on there. And as you sort of get to that point, you can see it's not a door at the end of this corridor. It's an elevator. The old sort of drawn across sort of, I can't remember what they're called, the almost lattice style wooden paneling. And the light flickers in it with its red velvet walls and wooden paneling.
I'm gonna scan the list of names for any that I recognize.
You roll a spot hidden check for me.
Oh gosh. Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
You can look over. You don't see any names you recognize fully. You can see there is a name on there that says Aiden, but it's not Aiden's last name. There's a Theodore, but it's not your last name. There's a few other names, just standard names on there. And there's also a George Herbert, which Bo and Maria would recognize from the manor house you were in before. But that's it.
I did not think he died at sea.
He did say he was gonna go traveling when we were in his house. They were gearing up for an expedition to explore the tomb or something.
Who?
This guy, George Herbert? I mean, we didn't know him before, but it was the last place we ended up jumping to, and he was having some dinner party, I guess some kind of goodbye thing to set off on this archaeological quest. And I don't know if it was on this ship, but apparently it's connected.
I know you don't need anything else to worry about, but Aiden and Teddy, just keep an eye out for mosquitoes.
Collars up.
And
There you go.
that light flickers.
So, on the elevator then, I think is where the rabbit hole goes, see?
I'm gonna just look down. Were there any other doors or options?
Nothing.
Are there any other options?
The elevator dings. And the lattice front opens. And the door slides open. And a man stands in there, dressed in a red coat, slick back hair. He's wearing a uniform like what you'd see for someone who runs an elevator. And he looks at all of you.
Hola, where does this go?
He stares at you.
You see a woman go by.
And he tilts his head.
Let's just ride this thing.
Ladies first, say.
All right then.
Step on the elevator.
You step in. The door closes. And you feel the elevator slowly start to move up.
Still clutching the back of Bo's shirt. Just...
And
Does the
man
guy
stares.
operating it have a name tag?
There's no name tag.
Okay.
He stands and he stares at all of you as he stands by this panel. As you ride this elevator up.
I think up is better than down, probably. So,
As you say that, he puts a finger to his lips.
Instinctively, like, touch my mouth, because the last time something creepy did that, I didn't have a mouth anymore.
He points up. There is a figure clung to the top of the ceiling of the elevator.
Points up.
As it tilts its head and looks down at you, there is no mouth, just eyes. And the man in the elevator again puts a finger to his lips. As this thing adjusts itself on the ceiling, sniffing the elevator. Aiden is, you can feel his fingers grip tightly. And Bo, you can feel Aiden's other hand now gripping you tightly as well. As you ride this elevator in silence. This thing dips down so that it is eye level with all of you, looking at each of you. You can almost hear Aiden hold his breath. The man in the red jacket looks up and tilts his head looking at this thing. And then there's a ding. The elevator opens. And the man in the red jacket looks to you, smiles, and gestures for you to leave.
Shimmy around the creature as silently as possible.
It watches you go. It climbs down the side of the wall, stands upright next to the man in the red jacket as he closes that lattice door, pulls the lever, and goes back down. You were in a ballroom. And we're going to hop over to Idris and Edward. As you stand at the bottom of these stairs with this music box firmly clamped shut, you can still see this creature, this person, this thing attached to half the wall, half the ceiling. Unblinking, it watches you, but it doesn't move.
Edward, should we run?
I think we should keep moving, but I don't think we should run now.
Okay. I'm going to start moving now when I get control of my feet. What is that thing you think? It is not someone we recognize, I think.
I don't know anyone that can climb on a ceiling like that, no.
No, I don't either. And I just start walking really, like, firmly and slowly but consistently away.
And you
Yeah,
walk away.
Paige, are you walking backwards still?
I think I am like kind of slowly turning forward and just keeping 2 hands on this, like as firm as possible, and just hoping that if I just don't look at it and keep this shut, it'll stay put.
Okay. So the arm with the flashlight, Edward, loops around you so that the flashlight can still point forward, and that way he has his other hand free for the gun.
Okay.
And you can start backing away. It doesn't take its eyes off you. Not a single part of its body moves apart from its eyes watching you. You can see them twitch. They don't blink. As you back away, and you can go around a corner of the corridor, like around the side. And you're in another corridor, very similar to like the one you were before. And Rebecca stands at the end of it. Not really doing anything. She sat down. She doesn't seem to have taken any interest in you. But she's scribbling on paper. Just all around her, these crayons, these pencils. And she sits at the other end of the corridor. Just scribbling away.
Should we go see what she's drawing?
Well, I don't quite know. She was supposed to be helpful, and she gave me this box of death. So I'm not sure. I'm afraid to look at her drawings, but you know what? I think we're going to find out what's on it either way, so might as well.
Okay. Edward will slowly lead the pair of them over there so they can look at the drawings.
She looks up at you and smiles and holds out one of the drawings to you. It's a very almost stick figure-like drawing coloured in, well, colour. And it's an image of you, Edward, and you, Idris, stood with a flashlight and a music box and the creature on the ceiling.
I
And
look
she
up.
smiled. There's nothing on the ceiling.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. Okay.
And then she hands you another drawing of an elevator and a light above it. And then another drawing of a very tall figure that floats just off the floor. And then she lifts up one more piece of paper and scribbled in red. She smiles and holds it up. It says run.
Okay.
The door behind her opens, and a man so tall, very much like on the train, has to duck out of the doorway and stands there in a suit and stands right behind her as she smiles, holding the sign.
I run.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything holding me back. We're going.
Could you please both make me... You can either roll a power or a dexterity, just for see if you can get away.
Okay.
Yeah, describe it for me how you both tear away from this scene. Like, you doing anything in particular, or literally just booking it?
Somehow we're coordinated enough that we both pick the correct direction to flip around to stay locked together and bolt away.
You can sprint. As
Oh, I do.
you can sprint, and if either of you look back, you see this tall figure that actually has to dip to the side like that to fit in this corridor. Start to hover and work its way, very much like it did on the top of the train, down this corridor towards you. And as you glance back as well, you see Rebecca throw this paper in the air, just saying, "Run, run, run, as fast as you can." And that paper turns to money, Edward. As you tear off down this corridor. And you can head in the opposite direction, away from the stairs. And you sprint down corridor after corridor. As this thing hovers, not getting faster. You almost leave it behind. And you can burst through these double doors. And there's an empty swimming pool. Tiled floor, all blue, the walls tiled. You see deck chairs, sort of lots of towels and things all folded neatly on the end of each one. As you stand in this room, I'd like to point out the doors are still open, and you can see this thing still drifting towards you.
Is there an exit?
You can see another door the other side.
Okay.
Well, it's more of a doorway. You can see steps up, but not a physical door. This you've run through two double doors, which you can see open, but you can technically shut.
I book it.
You both running?
Yep.
Okay. You run and you can tear up the small staircase. Back up onto deck. And it is dark now. And you see a couple of these oil lamps swaying in the sea breeze. It's still very much dark. And Ruth stands at the other end of the deck with her walking stick. Hello.
I shoot her.
Yeah.
Roll for me.
Please do.
Hard success.
Oh, okay, describe it for me. How are you doing it?
So she's in front of us, right?
She stands just in front of you with her walking stick.
So one arm with Idris, her in front of us. We just keep running, and as we get to her, I put the gun into her head, fire, and we keep running.
Yeah, she drops like a ragdoll. And you can keep running along this deck. And you can reach the bow of the ship. And as you reach there, there's a bench. There's a couple of benches. And there's people sat on them. And there's a captain sat on the end, one Idris you'll recognize. And he stands, looks at you and smiles. Welcome aboard.
Eddie, that one's the one we shot in the head earlier, and he's not got anything in his head no more, I think.
As he turns, you can see straight through him.
Oh, just kidding, it's still there. Do we just keep running around the other side, Eddie?
Just look at the boat.
I mean, we need to find the others, right? Where could they have gotten to? We've practically run this whole ship, I think, at this point.
I don't know, but they're not here.
The captain takes a step closer. Your friends are in the ballroom. It's time to dance. And we'll hop over to Bo, Theodore, and Maria. You enter this ballroom, and people stand there, still, motionless. And I need you all to roll a sanity check for me. As you stand there, all these people watch you. No music is playing, but you can hear it. You hear the music, but you see that the band is unmoving. And a woman steps forward, Charlotte, and walks towards Bo. It's so good to see you again. Will you dance with me?
Mm-hmm.
The music is delightful. We should dance.
Yeah, that's great. Your hand?
And she holds her hand out to you. This is
I
very
wanted to
hand.
check it for that tattoo.
There is no tattoo.
All right. Let's dance. And I look back at my group. Like, have your gun on her.
Guess I'll let go of Bo's back. You've got this big, like, wrinkly spot in the back of your shirt where, like, a sweaty palm has just, like, crushed the fabric. And then let go.
And Bo, you can start to dance. Charlotte almost leading you. As you waltz around this room. And Theodore and Maria, you watch as everyone else in this ballroom turns to watch them dance.
I will definitely have my gun just trained on her the whole time.
And the music flows. Every now and then, you see one of the people start to sway with the music. And Bo, as you waltz and you spin Charlotte round, she smiles. This is wonderful, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's been kind of a trial getting here. And I'm wondering if it'll be as difficult finding our way out.
I'm so glad you decided to dance with me in the end.
I'm always happy to oblige a lovely lady.
Well, thank you. You spin Ruth around this dance floor. And the rest of you see this just literally as it spins, Charlotte changes to Ruth.
Are they in a position where I can shoot Ruth and not shoot Bo?
You'd have to roll pretty good, I'm just gonna say.
That's okay, because I just want to tackle her to the ground.
Roll a brawl for me if that's what you're gonna do.
Okay, I'm not good at that, but that's okay. I'm really bad at that. I'm gonna tackle someone I don't want to the ground. Let's do it.
You run towards Ruth. And Bo, you see this as Maria comes charging towards Ruth. And Ruth smiles and stops the dance. And Maria, as you run towards her, and you not trip, but she catches you round your neck, and she is a lot stronger than she looks as she pulls you up towards her. Don't interrupt my dance, it's rude.
Like trying to get a hold on her wrist to take that.
You feel your windpipe closing as she grips you.
Yeah, I try to. Oh, okay, sorry. She gets jealous sometimes. Like, it's fine. She lost herself for a moment. Let's keep dancing. Come here, give me that beautiful hand.
Ruth snaps her head towards you. And your mother's voice comes out of her throat. Mama's boy. And at that, all the lights burst and glass shatters from everywhere. And your lighter goes out. Theodore, you are showered next to him with this glass. It doesn't hurt, it's just literally, you just feel it sort of all fall down to you and you hear it clatter along the floor. Ah! Maria, you feel the grip loosen as you feel yourself drop to the floor, but you feel like you have to gasp. And Edward and Idris, you stand on the bow of this ship, the captain looking directly at you. And all the people on the benches stand up. And that's where we'll leave Call of Cthulhu this week.
Man, if her hand would have stayed there a minute longer, I would have spit in her face. Maria was ready.
Okay.
Whew.
So, awesome. Yes. We would love to hear what you think in the Discord. Maybe you had a favorite bit or a bit you really didn't like hated. But either way, we'd love to hear about it. Otherwise, it's good to be back with Call of Cthulhu. Thank you for bearing with, because my face hurt because wisdom teeth suck. But other than that, please check out all the links. Please check out all the links that are coming up in chat now. Also, a huge thank you to our wonderful sponsors in the form of Mayhem Press and also Bird in the Storm. You can check out their links there. And we'll find out what happens to everyone next week. So keep evoking emotions, everyone, and we will see you then. Bye.